What if I told you there's a country where the Amazon rainforest produces 20% of the world's oxygen, where beaches stretch for 400 kilometers of pure paradise, and where a 98-foot-tall statue of Jesus watches over a city that pulses with music, football, and carnival energy that never stops? I've discovered 15 destinations across Brazil that will make you understand why this country contains more natural wonders than entire continents, more biodiversity than scientists can catalog, and more pure joy per square kilometer than anywhere else on Earth. From waterfalls that drop from table mountains into prehistoric jungles, to beaches where caipirinhas taste better because the sunset lasts longer. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll take you through Brazil's most incredible locations, where every landscape tells a story of continental-scale beauty, where indigenous cultures preserve knowledge of nature's secrets, and where Portuguese colonial architecture creates cities so beautiful, they make you understand why Europeans crossed oceans to claim this land. Get ready to experience Brazil like the explorers intended, as a country where paradise isn't just a concept, it's a daily reality. Number 15, Iguazu Falls, where 275 individual waterfalls create a crescendo of water so powerful that Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Poor Niagara," when she first saw it. The Devil's Throat alone drops 82 meters with such force it creates its own weather system. The falls stretch nearly 3 kilometers wide, surrounded by subtropical rainforest that contains over 2 plant species and jaguars that drink from pools fed by this thundering water. The mist creates constant rainbows that dance in the spray, while toucans and parrots add tropical colors to a scene that already looks like paradise exploded into pure spectacle. Standing on the viewing platforms, soaked by mist and deafened by the roar, feels like witnessing the earth showing off its unlimited power. Number 14, Christ the Redeemer, the 98-foot-tall statue that watches over Rio de Janeiro from atop Corcovado Mountain, with arms spread 92 feet wide, as if embracing the entire city and its 6 million inhabitants in a permanent blessing. The statue was voted one of the new 7 wonders of the world, but the real wonder is the 360-degree view from its base, Sugarloaf Mountain, Copacabana Beach, the favelas climbing the hillsides, and Guanabara Bay, stretching toward the Atlantic. During sunset, the statue glows golden, while the city lights begin to twinkle below, creating a scene that makes you understand why Brazilians call Rio Cidade Maravilhosa, the marvelous city. Number 13, the Amazon rainforest, covering 60% of Brazil and containing 10% of all known species on Earth, where trees so tall they create their own climate systems, support life forms that exist nowhere else in the universe as we know it. The Amazon River system contains 20% of all fresh water on Earth, with pink dolphins that have evolved to navigate flooded forests and indigenous tribes that possess knowledge of plant medicines that could revolutionize modern healthcare. Walking through primary rainforest, where the canopy is so dense that noon feels like twilight, surrounded by sounds of life so diverse, it creates a symphony of existence, connects you to the biological heart of our planet. Number 12, Copacabana Beach, where 4 kilometers of white sand create the world's most famous beach party, with volleyball games that never end, caipirinhas that taste like liquid sunshine, and sunset views that make every evening feel like a celebration. The beach culture here isn't just recreation. It's a way of life where social barriers dissolve in the democratic equality of sun, sand, and sea. The beach volleyball games are so competitive they produced Olympic champions, while the promenade hosts everything from morning joggers to midnight samba dancers. New Year's Eve here attracts 2 million people who wear white and throw flowers into the ocean for good luck, creating the world's largest beach party. Number 11, Salvador's historic center, where Portuguese colonial architecture painted in tropical colors creates the largest collection of colonial buildings in Latin America, while Afro-Brazilian culture creates music, food, and spiritual traditions that define Brazilian identity. The Pelourinho district contains over 800 buildings from the 16th to 19th centuries, painted in colors that seem to glow in the tropical light. This is where capoeira was born, where candomblé spiritual practices blend African religions with Catholicism, and where music rhythms developed that would influence genres worldwide. Walking these cobblestone streets while listening to drums echoing from doorways feels like experiencing the cultural fusion that created modern Brazil. Number 10. Pantanal, the world's largest tropical wetland, where flooding plains create a wildlife paradise that contains the highest concentration of jaguars on Earth, over 650 bird species, and caimans so numerous they look like floating logs until they move. During the dry season, wildlife concentrates around remaining water sources, creating natural amphitheaters where jaguars hunt, giant otters play, and hyacinth macaws, the world's largest flying parrots, add brilliant blue to landscapes that already overflow with life. The Pantanal is so wild that jaguars here are confident enough to hunt caimans, creating scenes that look like nature documentaries happening in real time around you. Number 9. Bonito, where limestone filters river water to such clarity that snorkeling feels like floating through liquid air, while tropical fish swim around you in water, so transparent they appear to be flying through space. The Rio de Prata and Rio Sucuri maintain constant temperatures and visibility up to 50 meters, creating underwater experiences that feel more like flying than swimming. The limestone caves contain underground rivers with stalactites and stalagmites reflected in water, so still it creates perfect mirror images. Swimming here feels like discovering a secret world where physics work differently and beauty has no limits. Number 8. Fernando de Noronha, a volcanic archipelago 350 kilometers off Brazil's coast, where pristine beaches and marine sanctuaries create diving experiences that rank among the world's best, with visibility up to 50 meters and marine life that shows no fear of humans. The islands limit visitors to 460 people at any time, preserving ecosystems where spinner dolphins perform acrobatic displays daily, sea turtles nest on beaches that have remained unchanged for millions of years, and underwater visibility is so clear that diving feels like floating through aquarium exhibits designed by nature. The main island contains only one small town, ensuring that wildlife, rather than humans, sets the rhythm of daily life. Number 7. Lençóis Maranhenses, where white sand dunes create a desert landscape dotted with thousands of turquoise lagoons that appear during rainy season, creating an impossible combination of Sahara-like dunes and tropical swimming pools. The lagoons form when rainwater collects in valleys between dunes, creating temporary lakes that can be 3 meters deep and stay warm enough for swimming. The contrast between brilliant white sand and turquoise water creates optical illusions that make you question whether you're in a desert or a tropical paradise. This landscape changes completely with the seasons, proving that some of Earth's most beautiful places are also its most ephemeral. Number 6. Sugarloaf Mountain, where a 396-meter granite monolith rises directly from Guanabara Bay, offering 360-degree views of Rio de Janeiro that include Christ the Redeemer, Copacabana Beach, and urban landscapes that flow seamlessly into tropical mountains. The cable car ride to the summit passes through 2 stages, with the first stopping at Urca Hill for views that are spectacular enough to satisfy most visitors, but the summit views redefine what's possible from a single vantage point. During sunset, the granite glows golden, while the city lights begin to twinkle below, creating a scene that makes you understand why Rio is considered one of the world's most beautiful cities. Number 5, Brasília, where architect Oscar Niemeyer created a capital city from scratch in the 1950s, designing modernist buildings so futuristic they still look like they're from the next century, proving that Brazil could create tomorrow today. The National Congress building looks like a spacecraft that landed in the savannah, while the Cathedral of Brasília resembles a crown of concrete reaching toward heaven. The entire city was designed to be viewed from above, creating urban planning that treats the city itself as a work of art. Walking through Brasília feels like touring a museum of architecture that celebrates human ambition to create something entirely new. Number 4, Chapada Diamantina, where Table Mountains rise from the Brazilian highlands, creating a landscape of mesas, caves, and waterfalls that looks like the setting for a prehistoric adventure movie, with hiking trails that lead to views you'll never forget. The park contains over 38 caves, including the Blue Cave, where underground rivers reflect light in ways that create ethereal blue glows. The Cachoeira da Fumaça waterfall drops 340 meters, creating mist that can be seen from kilometers away. This landscape was formed by millions of years of erosion, creating a natural playground for adventurers who want to explore landscapes that feel like they exist on another planet. Number 3, Jericoacoara, where sand dunes meet the Atlantic Ocean, creating a landscape where you can sandboard down dunes in the afternoon and windsurf on world-class waves in the evening, all while watching sunsets that have inspired countless songs and poems. The village is accessible only by 4WD vehicles that drive across sand dunes, preserving a laid-back atmosphere where hammocks are the primary furniture and sunset viewing is the main evening entertainment. The constant wind makes this one of the world's best windsurfing and kitesurfing destinations, while the dunes create natural slides for sandboarding adventures that end at the ocean. Number 2, Ouro, Preto, where an 18th century gold mining boom created a colonial city so wealthy that churches were decorated with tons of gold leaf, creating Baroque architecture that represents the pinnacle of Portuguese colonial artistry in the New World. The city contains 13 Baroque churches, each one more elaborately decorated than the last, with interiors that glow with gold leaf applied by artists who understood that when you have unlimited gold, subtlety becomes optional. The cobblestone streets climb steep hills between buildings that have remained unchanged for centuries, creating a living museum of colonial wealth and artistic ambition. And number 1, Rio Carnival, where 2 million people celebrate in the streets while samba schools perform in the Sambadrome with costumes and floats, so elaborate they take an entire year to create, turning the city into the world's greatest party for 5 days straight. The Sambadrome parades feature 0 performers per school, with costumes that can weigh 40 kilograms and floats that cost millions of dollars, all judged in categories that include creativity, rhythm, and pure joy. But the real carnival happens in the streets, where blocos, street parties, turn every neighborhood into a dance floor, and caipirinhas flow like water. Carnival isn't just a party, it's a cultural explosion that proves Brazilians have turned celebration into an art form. From rainforests that produce the oxygen we breathe to beaches that stretch for thousands of kilometers, from waterfalls that create their own weather to cities that turn celebration into art, Brazil isn't just a travel destination, it's a continental-scale paradise where nature and culture combine to create the most biodiverse, most joyful, most alive country on Earth. What makes Brazil absolutely extraordinary is how it contains multitudes, the world's largest rainforest, and the world's most famous beaches, indigenous cultures that predate written history and modernist architecture that defines the future, carnival celebrations that last for days, and spiritual traditions that connect you to something eternal. This is a country where diversity isn't just tolerated, it's celebrated as the source of all beauty and creativity. Now I'm absolutely dying to know which of these 15 places made you want to pack your bags and fly to Brazil immediately. Was it swimming in water so clear it looks like liquid air? Or maybe joining the world's greatest party during Carnival? Drop a comment below with the number of your favorite Brazilian paradise. If this video has awakened your desire to experience a country where paradise isn't just a concept, but a daily reality, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Every week, we explore destinations that prove our planet contains more beauty, more life, and more pure joy than any single lifetime could ever fully experience. Speaking of countries that combine ancient culture with natural paradise, next week we're exploring Mexico to discover 15 places where ancient pyramids meet pristine beaches, where cenotes create underground swimming pools, and where Day of the Dead celebrations prove that Mexicans have turned honoring ancestors into the most beautiful art form on earth. Mexico is going to captivate your soul. Until then, keep dreaming of Amazon adventures and carnival celebrations. Keep believing in the power of nature to create paradise. And I'll see you in the next incredible journey. Ciao.